my confidence. My cocaine, my heart desire, give me nothingness. I know they're tired, cause you give me ginger, but the time is. You're my true lover, my mommy wonder, give me happiness. Holy Ghost fire, supernatural, it's my confidence. My cocaine, my heart desire, give me nothingness. I know they're tired, cause you give me ginger, but the time is. You're my true lover, my mommy wonder, give me happiness. Tensions on the shelf for my nigga. Stop drinking, babe. Tequila Dundee hits me for leaving. It's that indica, it's a sativa. Anytime that I smoke, this girl's been looking like white materials. Is it this or that? If I see it, I'll find how I feel inside. I won't let you know I am super high. I can feel my eyes. They say love is blind, but I can't see you. Holy Ghost fire, supernatural, it's my confidence. My cocaine, my heart desire, give me nothingness. I know they're tired, cause you give me ginger, but the time is. You're my true lover, my mommy wonder, give me happiness.
Now, so you gotta understand, the more you chase price up, so price is going higher, and it's getting chased up, higher and higher and higher. At some point, there will be a time of manipulation that comes in. So that's one thing to understand. For instance, like if we, like even yesterday was just going up. Like you had a big run here. So if we take this piece, for instance, there's a part where it was running.
Hey Toronto, Apple is open for small business. That's right. We're here to make some
YouTube ads. Where's my playlist? Let me put this on.
Here's why Aquafunded is the only prop firm you should consider using to get your next challenge. More than ever,
I'm gonna get premium. I'm gonna do it.
I'll be on the drums.
Anyway, price goes up. So like if you're at that point where you're chasing it, eventually, boom, you know, it's gonna come in. You could be in any stage of like it really going up. Like here, for instance, going up, and then something comes in. If you look at all through here, I mean, price is going up. These are like nice healthy pullbacks it made. But then you have like a situation earlier tonight where it's ripping and then boom. So right now, I mean, good pullback happening right now. It's kind of like this one. So let's say, for instance, price keeps going up and price keeps going up. That's not, there'll be those situations, even higher up, right? At higher prices that you could expect. If like, let's say you don't get in the market's going up, and it's not giving you a pullback. So you have to expect that they'll come. Even if price is going without you and it keeps going higher and higher. Because like the higher you keep chasing it, eventually you'll be at that point where it's like it's pulling back big enough. London session's coming. You want to wait for like some manipulation at this point. Some like it's being chased up, ran up. Someone did mention there's a fair value gap there. You know, we're looking at a 5 minute here. Yeah, it could bounce. Maybe continue. We're higher up though. I'd rather a bigger situation. We're higher up, and that might stick. Hold up. That in this case, like in this condition, that's how you could follow this. Is maybe more specific of a time frame. Like you're looking at the 5 minute here, and there's only been one pullback. We were down here earlier tonight taking buys. A few hours ago, we were taking buys down there. Literally at 34.18, 34.20, around there. A bit high. Like before that, the market had a delivery to it. Like how price came into that buy, right? Like price dropped. Over time, right now is the time you could sit on your hands and wait for price to get delivered a certain way. Like, oh, we got a nice pullback happening. Maybe it happens bigger. We've expanded here, so some drive down would be nice if you're still looking for buys. Otherwise, you're playing like these 5 minute charts, smaller time frames, watching these types of pullbacks. Like we're getting a pullback right now. These types of pullbacks you can watch. But the more you, one thing to understand, like even you go back to a time like this where it was just pushing up. There's periods of excessive movement where it's really moving, and then eventually a stronger drop comes in. Here, there's a period where it's really moving, and eventually a bigger drop comes in. So like right now, you could be at one of those points where that's coming soon. Like price could go up from here, still keep trading up, but that could come in soon. Especially if it keeps going up, that bigger drop would come in soon. It's definitely being chased up here. Even if you were to go like above 3,500, if you were to go above 3,500, it would probably happen even above that price, like kind of what happened at 3,400 today. Price went above 3,400. After that, there was some dips. Yeah, so I think like you want to wait for maybe that. That's how I feel like price is being chased up soon enough. There should be a good enough like point of manipulation that comes in, liquidation, you know, like kind of like look at how, think about the market and think about situations that you've been in where you've thought something was going to happen, where you thought it was a buy or you thought it was a sell, and you were wrong, and you didn't think you were going to be wrong, or you were adding to that position, or you were buying the dip and you were buying the dip and the dip wasn't a dip, and you were in a drawdown, or you were in a stop loss, or you blew half of your account, or you lost all your profit. Think about those situations and how price was delivered to you and what happens afterwards. Think about the emotions, the experience you're going through. That's how you got to view some of these moves that happen, these candles, especially when you're not in them, right? When price is dumping a certain way, you got to think about those times where you're in that trade and you're buying and you're expecting this to go up, and it's not, and you got to close your trade or you got to take your L, and it burns and it doesn't feel good, right? I gotta think of those deliveries in the market on a psychological standpoint, because if I'm out of the market and price is being delivered a certain way, if I'm sitting on my hands and I'm not in the market and I got money to risk, right, and something is happening that I can read and I can know and understand, something is happening. Like, look what just happened with price. Like, look what happened with price, right? If you were on the session earlier, you were there. We bought down here. Literally drew it up like art. So you gotta think about, I look at times when I'm not in the market and what price is doing, and I understand what could come next. Or I see certain things that price does. And from my experience, I've been there so many times where I take a trade and I think something's gonna happen and it doesn't go up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I take another trade and it doesn't go up. But then, you know, you watch the chart and then eventually it really goes up and you're like, oh, I got in early. I wasn't looking at this right. You know, you learn from those things, right? So you gotta think about the markets and how you lose too. Like, what were you in your loss? Was like if there's something you saw, if you were bullish on price and you took a loss on that, there's something you saw, you gotta manage those experiences, because over time you can see, over time you might be able to look back and be like, damn, I would have been there buying before. I was like, oh, usually I would have been oh man, like you look back and you're through experience, like, oh wait, I would have been buying. I know what's happening right now, because usually I would have been buying, right? But no, this is drop. Everyone's buying right now and getting stopped out, right? So you think the market on a game level, you gotta understand some of those types of ways of thinking, right? Not just little do this 1, 2, 3. You know, like strategies, indicators, and things you can spot. Like, if you were on the session earlier, I said, guys, go watch the session. I said, if price is going to be bullish, this is what's here to tell us bullish price action. If it's going to stay true, if you go back to the session, I said, if it's gonna go down, if it doesn't hold this, there's a meaning between, like, if it doesn't hold this, what we were looking at, what was here, and how price was in a downtrend, broke up. I called it out, like, as it happened. Yeah, that was let this, see that just pumped up, little bull trap right there, bull trap, boom. Waves down. Let it make some waves down, maybe, you know. Scalping area, like, doesn't stick. It's high. Price is high up, so it's being chased up. So it'd be better to wait for, like, more manipulation to come in. If you really wanted to be just sitting on your, and really wait and see what happens over the next couple hours, if price can drop. Because think about it, it's definitely being chased up. It's been going up, right? I'm not looking for sells, just waiting out to see if we can get a good enough retracement down, to be honest. Like a good enough pullback starting. You know, if you're experienced, like, you have to be sometimes daring to take risk. Like, there's a low here, that low might hold. But I'm looking at a 1 minute chart. That doesn't mean everything right now, right? Yeah, I understand we're pretty high right before London. Manipulation could come in where price spikes up, runs down, creates a bigger drop. As this kind of gradually going higher, I figure being chased up more. So I think it'd be better to let it do its thing for a bit, like not predict the market. We don't have to sit here and predict where it's gonna go to. It's give it some time to see how we trade in the next couple of hours. If you're really looking for something, that's part of what trading is. You don't have to be forecasting, is it going to react here ahead of time? Is it going to react here ahead of time? You guys realize this morning session, I woke up and got on the stream and was looking at the chart from a live point of view. We didn't really, like, it wasn't getting on before and, oh yeah, I think it's going to do this before New York. I woke up at 8:15, hopped on the stream. That was it. Did what we did in the morning. All right, well, damn, where were we buying? Where are we right now? where are we, man? Back here. 5 minute. In the morning. It wasn't like forecasting ahead of time. I couldn't really forecast. I wasn't on the charts before that. It's not like I was forecasting, okay, it's going to go above here and do this ahead of time, right? Jumped on the charts, worked with what was there, right? What I could spot, what I could react to, right? That setup this morning, we took buys this morning. I called out 2 buys this morning. When I jumped on, I said I'm in buys. It ran up, and then I gave another buy setup. And then I even gave another buy setup in Inner Circle Discord. If you're in my Inner Circle, I dropped a video in there. That video was fire. I gave out three setups this morning alone. Right? I literally gave up 3 setups this morning, and then we bought here a couple hours ago. So I hope you guys tuned in last 24 hours, basically, like a little over a day, like, because it's like having a schedule to the market. Like when you're a full-time trader, it's like when you're trading full-time, basically on the charts, like I am. You can like, gold moves all, like if you know gold, it moves like any time of the day. It can move at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It can move at 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Like, gold is very versatile. So it's not like there's a best time to jump on the chart. I have a really good flow and rhythm of going at the charts at the right time is when it's like, I think this is a good time to jump on because of what it's looking like. That's how I find more setups. Yeah, I'd like some, London manipulation maybe to come in. Some pullbacks. Because you got to also look at if you've been taking buys, all right. The opportunities were there. And as much as you want to make more, you capitalized on what was there, right? As much as you might want to make more, as much as you did is what you could have done with those buys that you had, right? So you can't be thinking in the sense of I need more because I've done what I did. I could have done more. I had the opportunity to with what was there, right? You don't be thinking I need to make more because of how the price is moving. You have to look at what you've done and realize, okay, I could have done enough possible at this point with what was presented so far in the last day, right? So you don't want to get ahead of yourself or ahead of the market, especially on a Tuesday. All right, you might be at the beginning of the week excited. Oh, gold's moving, right? All right, you still want to keep a good tonality of things and approach. You don't want to be so super excited, because when you're excited, excited is an emotion, right? When you're excited to things like it involves more emotion. That's not a calm trader, a disciplined trader. So you get excited, you act a certain way. You might not be thinking accordingly. So it's like you never want to get ahead of yourself and ahead of the market. You want to look at the opportunities that were presented to you and the fact that, okay, I did the most of what I could. I could have done more. That's what you want to look at. Next time, let me be more prepared. All right? Instead of I need to make more money than what I could have made. Instead of looking at what you could have made, right? You got to look at, like, I had the opportunity. It's on me. The market presented what it presented. I could have held longer. Could have, maybe been on the charts a little earlier. Whatever it is. That's how you got to think of it. Especially as price goes higher up and you might have the need to chase it more. What time is it? Is it like a correction? Maybe. Like, I can only see that on the 1 minute, I usually look at 1 minute. Like 1 minute I like using for bullish accumulations. If you've noticed. Like most of the time I'm looking at the 1 minute, we're in a bullish accumulation phase. So I like the 1 minute for usually. Looking at more of a schematic, more of a phase, a bigger phase on the 1 minute. Like it happened down here quickly. 1 minute I like more on a lower ground. I like viewing the 1 minute chart on a lower ground, a lower area, and price being delivered lower, a bigger formation on the 1 minute. I don't, at a higher price, no, I'm not so confident like looking at it like that. Like I can see things, but usually where the 1 minute works the best for me is on bullish accumulations, when price is dipped and it starts forming that. I don't like, obviously I can see that. You've had some pullbacks. These are like 5 minute pullbacks. I'm not gonna take a trade yet. If I take one, I'll let you guys know, but I want to wait a bit, maybe till like 1:30, see where the market's at, 2 a.m. to be honest. Because 1:30, 2 a.m. hits, there'll be some volume that comes in around like 1:30 to 2 a.m. Maybe even like 20 minutes, or like 29 minutes. You'll get volume that comes in going into London, and I just want to see how that volume comes in, if it takes price down first. That'd be smartest, honestly, because if you think about what I just said, like we've had bare opportunities. It's almost hit 3,500. I just made a huge bullish candle up here. Now it's been kind of stalling down. It's been after that. Look how the price has been after that candle. Interesting. It's just been kind of sideways. That pop up, quick pop up, and then down real quick. So there's a chance it could run down. Like if it just stalls for a bit, it could run down. Some manipulation comes in. I can see this, but I don't want to trade this right now. I can see this maybe breaking up, but I don't want to trade it. I don't want to trade it right now. I've just flipped an account and withdrew it. Chill, it's only Tuesday. This is when this is at my, so for me in the week, I just withdrew some money from my account. It's been a good week, and it's like Tuesday, and it's like, damn, it's been a good week. It's Tuesday. So like now I'm at a point where I can wait for that moment. I can wait, kind of like last week, for that time where I'm just out of the market and something happens. It dumps, and it has one of those days where it's just dumping all day, like last week. It's Tuesday. There's enough time for that to happen. If there's a day where this thing really drops, I have time to be on the sidelines now. I could still be a good week. I just withdrew before this. I could be on the sidelines and it's still a good week, is what I'm saying. Being on the sidelines sometimes is a good thing when you have the ability to still take action on something that can be there. You give yourself that time. It could be Thursday. I could do nothing until Thursday or Friday, and there could be an opportunity in between that just really is there. Yeah, so like both sides, I want to wait a bit. It's not really we remember what I said hours ago. This, bro, like this was hours ago. I drew this out. Like, come on. Like after we bought down here, I said, you know, the all-time high that it made today in the same day when we were on. Bruh, like, come on. If you're on that session, I said, like, you know, I even have the chart here that, where was that chart? This was what I drew. This. So just imagine these candles. When we were live, I was saying, you know, let it come down, guys, let it come down. It came down. And that's the thing, like, if you're looking at the market from what's there, what's okay, if I'm here and I was telling you guys, like, let it come down, because if the market's gonna offer you something, that's the first thing that's there. If that doesn't work, you have to maybe reevaluate or just leave it as is. You know, not everything has to work, right? That one worked. Like when you go at that point, it's like two things could have happened. This was number one, or you would have came like deeper into here. I think I even said that on stream. I literally drew this on that session. And so that's an option you can wait for, because that was the all-time high. Now we got a new all-time high. You could always play these all-time highs kind of like that along the way, like breaking above the all-time highs. You could always look for breaks above those, and breaking above them could be, especially if price is like trading how it is now, and then let's say it just goes up. That's a bullish BOS, so like continuation, more factor. If price were to like just, you know, from this high, if it were to just make a low here or even come lower and break through that, a clean move, that'd be like a bullish BOS for continuation. That's forward thinking right there. That's thinking like, I don't need to get in the market right now, but I understand if it does something like this, if it's delivered like this, even if it comes down, retraces, and then goes up through that high, that means something for this. That shows me a signal of strength, signal of demand more, right? If it gets above 3,500 in that same move, that's a good thing too. If it like gets above 3,500 and maybe tries to play 3,500, 3,490s. Because like with price making these types of all-time highs as it is, like you can always play these highs as it breaks through on like 5-minute charts. I did that this morning. I was looking at this area. I kept talking about it on 30-minute. You can always think kind of ahead like that in situations like where the market's giving you a high and you know you're in an uptrend, right? I wouldn't signal gold out to a downtrend. Like, you would need a lot of evidence for that. I don't know, to create a downtrend. Like, how does that start? With everything going on in the world, what headlines do we need for the downtrend? What news and headlines do we need for downtrend? Uncertainty needs to be abolished, you know, just gone. A lot of uncertainty in the world. I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen. I don't think anyone knows what the headlines are going to be tomorrow, or the headlines are going to be next week, let alone a couple months from now, or let alone next year or 3 years from now. I don't think anyone knows really what the headlines are going to be, what the outcome is going to be, what's going to happen with everything going on in the world. Changing, kind of like a revolution here, changing, trade wars, tariffs. So uncertainty. If you're like looking at gold, like, man, gold is crazy, what is going on? I think it's normal the way it's moving. And look at the dollar. I mean, the dollar's crashing too, right? Dollar's been bleeding out, so there's an inverse correlation there, heavy. The dollar is really falling, right? So you have a heavy inverse correlation happening right now as well, along with a lot of geopolitical tension and economic weakness alongside the US. And then just uncertainty with all the trade wars, the tariffs, the China and USA ongoing battle that is continuously, you know, back and forth with different types of headlines and news and things that are affecting their trade, you know, how they trade together, supply chains, trade balances, and that's also impacting the world. So it's on a global. Gold is global. This is XAU to USD. Gold, global, right? I mean, a lot of money's pouring into gold ETFs. I haven't been looking at stocks at all. Gold. Bitcoin, trading nice. We like that. So yeah, you have the US. A lot of uncertainty there, economic weakness. I would just, again, it's not really, I'm not trying to forecast like it coming to a zone. Like, there's not always a time for that, guys. Like, if you go on we do this every day, right? So remember, this is a job, right? We do this every day. It's not cookie cutter, fucking pencils and drawings and picture perfect all the time, okay? We don't have to always sit here and be like, it's gonna come to here and go up. We could watch the chart and just give kind of a anticipation to, okay, we know we're in an uptrend. Let's just watch what happens in the next hour or two and just see. We don't have to sit here and go, where are we gonna put our stop loss? Where are we gonna put our entry? No, we don't gotta do all that. You don't gotta stress yourself out so much like that and overthink. You could watch the chart and just think like, okay, look how much price has moved up. Right? Some pullbacks should come in. Let me wait for that. Let me see if the market can provide me that. That's really it. And then it's like, if it starts to do that, it might make more sense to, okay, maybe I can start looking for entries. If price comes near, maybe something appealing. Maybe it drops all the way down to here, right? Maybe price dumps and comes all the way down to here, right? You don't always got to forecast like everything ahead of time. I just said that. Remember this morning, I jumped, like, even hours ago, I jumped on the charts with you, and that was done right there, all live. Everything we forecasted was just in the moment, right? It wasn't like ahead of time. Even this morning was a really good example too, right? This morning session, I was just, you know, jumping on the charts, seeing what price was doing. Price went up. It was like, okay, price just made a high. Maybe we let it pull back. And eventually, I was like, all right, guys, if it comes to 34.10 and comes here, I'm gonna look for an entry. You know, so you don't always gotta like overthink like analysis and forecasting and trading. You can forecast something and still lose, and then the forecast plays out 2 days later. You can forecast something perfectly. You could be good at forecasting. Like you could be like, oh yeah, it's gonna come in like down here and then go up, and then you could still lose, and then next week that same thing still, your forecast still ended up playing out, right? You're always gonna be forecasting things and drawing arrows excessively. If you guys come live with me, I do a lot of things in the moment. When we jump on, it's like, oh, look what's happening. Let it come down. Like I said, let it come down. We'll wait. I'm gonna wait. Just chill. Watch gold. Think about what I said when I got on. It's probably being chased up, right? The more. Look how fat. Like it was just Easter Sunday, right? You think like how many people? How many of you guys? Was everybody on? Has everybody been on the charts? I was on the charts since market open. Not everyone was on the charts. Like market open, and like, you know. I think like. Well, people who are late to the party, like missing all this action up, that are like, oh, I gotta buy. It's gotta go up. Man, FOMO, missing out. At some point, there's gonna be that like strong flush out. It happened earlier today. There was one here, literally like right here. Right, this is going up. Made an all-time high. Shortly after. Dump. So waiting for that type of stuff, waiting it out, letting those things happen. Create a sell to create a buy. Eventually, like the more traders that chase things up, you gotta think about that too, that psychology of like the market could get flushed out. Yeah, even like 60, like lower. I think the lower the better. I'm trying to anticipate lower. That's where we have some price action there where we broke out. All-time highs, previous all-time high was there. So we have some like price action that really came up from there. Yeah, EURUSD. I was in a trade on this but got out. I was like buying EURUSD and I was like, okay, why am I doing this? So I bought up like here. No. EURUSD even looks bullish. Yeah, like EURUSD even looks pretty bullish. Like it pushed up, pulling back. This, yeah, EURUSD. I'd say it looks more bullish. To be honest, I don't look at it all the time. Dollar's crashing. I like gold because I just can use the whole numbers, but you could do the same thing maybe on EURUSD. This is like 115, $1.15, $1.14. EURUSD looks like it's trending both. Yeah, this thing's been going up because obviously dollar's going down. This thing's gonna be super trending up. Yeah, this looks more bullish to me on price. Just from the 4-hour here. Broke up. Nice little pullback's been happening on the 4 hours. This candle has some volume. Maybe that continues, but you could see previous resistance over here. Broke above that. Not a bad looking chart on Euro, to be honest. Kind of has like a flag pattern right now. If it were to come out of that, you could, if it were to come out of that flag. Same, but it's the same, just different. Same thing, different name here. Same thing, different name. Same thing. Yeah, Euro. looking bullish on euro. Makes sense. Dollar, bearish. Could consolidate and then even like form like a move out of this. USD looks pretty bullish at the moment. Like the price action of it, the trend, the structure to it. See what happens with these types of patterns that you get, like these types of flags and stuff when price is pushed up. Usually like when you get these excessive movements up, you get a nice extension, right? So you can see like price is kind of like more rectangular, like in a range here. A lot of times you get these types of patterns that kind of look like, you know, something like this. It's going to go up, continue. A lot of times it's more like the pattern will like do something like this and then it'll go down and then go up. It'll still be like the same thing. This chart looks interesting, I'd say, and I don't always look at currency pairs. I think the last currency pair we talked about was like USD CAD when it was back in January. I was telling you guys USD CAD's gonna drop this year. Go to my first session. Go watch my sessions in January. I was saying keep an eye on USD CAD this year. It should drop. I was right about that too. Yeah, gold. You want to let that Euro USD might be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Actually, I don't always look at that pair. No, I barely do. I rarely do. Never do. I'll like flip to it and look at the price and see what it's doing compared to the dollar. Yeah, euro might break up to the upside. Looks more trending to me. Like it's clear to see if like I don't have to zoom out. Like if we zoom out, it's clearly, you know, trending up. We know that. Dollar. So I mean, like you could get continuations potentially, or even that, like I said, that sort of flush down, like marker goes down, but then creates that move up. Let gold sit on your hands. Let gold do its thing. Let it find some. Look at 1250. Remember what I said? Around like maybe the next 30 minutes, it'll pick up volume. It'll probably pick up volume. It'll pick, not probably, like it always does. I'm not saying, like I didn't say 1:30 and 2 in the morning by random. This next hour, so in 9 minutes, 9 minutes from there till 2, you'll see volume pick up with this. And when I say volume, it could be like volume in like a volatile way of like manipulation, even like fast move. You could see spikes up, then spikes down, or just spikes down. Volume can occur over the next hour in like 9 minutes, the next hour. Basically, the next hour. Yeah, like back here would be where I'd want to get to on gold. If I was looking just to sit on my hands and wait, I'd want to come closer back to here where I'm drawing right now. I'd want it to come down into here. See where we kind of move that where I circled? Crazy movement. Could have held the buys from this morning. Yeah. And the reason I'm just sitting on my hands is because it goes back to what I said. Like, think about how much it's moved up already. So if there is a lot of buyers here and it goes down, that makes sense. It'd be like liquidity grabs. Nice, damn. Been cooking some accounts. Yeah, it's been on a roll, to be honest, but you always gotta be prepared. Like when you're if you're trading the same, like gold, it starts the weeks off similar. Like you might have 3 days, you might have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The market's just the same. Like buys are working. Every buy you're taking is hitting. The pullbacks are hitting. It's like every buy you take is hitting. And then Thursday comes around and the market completely changes Thursday. And it's like, whoa, my buys aren't working. What's going on? Your emotions change because something that was working so much just didn't work, and it's not working at all. So when you're trading, you gotta understand the probabilities of things and the law of averages too. Numbers, a lot of numbers too. Like something can happen so many times in a row, excessively of behavior, till it changes quickly. So let's say the market, you're trading the market Monday, Sunday, Monday, and you're buying, and as you're trading the week up, it's the same motion, the same flow, the same rhythm. Everything's working to how you're doing it. And then a day comes along where the market maybe changes, news comes out, or price changes a certain way. The market changes and you're not adapted to that. Like a reversal happens, a dump happens, something happens, right? That behavior, that way you're trading so much might still just be, you might be used to still acting like that, right? So it could be one day, you could have 3 days of like the same tolerance, the same flow, rhythm, risk, whatever. It could be making money 3 days in a row, and then you have one day where it's like it's completely different than those 3 days, where it's like, whoa, the market, what's going on with the market compared to what maybe you were just used to in a couple of days or whatever it may be. So like you kind of want to, that's why I say trading is a lot of mindset, psychology, discipline behind it too. Like I'm not just saying random shit, trust me. I'm not just saying random, trying to sound philosophical and stuff. I'm being serious. I'm talking from experience. What time is it? It's all good. It goes up. Just remember, if it just goes up, remember I said before, like you follow price. You like if price goes up, eventually still that thing's gonna come in, right? Whether it's like one of these or bigger. Like even if it keeps going up, like it'll come in. This guy's breaking out, isn't it? It's been stalling, waiting for London. It's pushed up. It's been stalling here. If we go, I'm not taking a trade right now. I'm just chilling. Told you guys my plan for the day. Even like New York, we're gonna be on in New York, 8 a.m. on Inner Circle. But even look at New York to go to New York today, and it's like price went up so much, but in New York offered some dips, smaller setups. What you could do, because 80 would have been a good entry. It's not a good entry now. I mean, you could always watch that high. If price just goes up from here and breaks that high, it's bullish BOS. You could probably keep an eye on that high. See if it breaks and retests it. Would have been nice to enter that, but all good. Can't catch them all. Can't catch them all, son. What time is it? Yeah. Can't catch them all. Wait, just in a day though. Holy, been some fire sessions just in a day. Holding since 2430. Should I hold till 3500? I mean, you could try. I might go there. I mean, that's pretty. 34 what? 40, 34, 30. It's big. That's a nice move. Nice, damn. Yeah, like if all-time high markets, you gotta. It can be especially going into these hours. It's London coming soon. You want to be even I've gotten some situations. Just 1 minute doing. I'm holding since 2430. I honestly don't know. Like that's really low. Like that's down here. I don't think it's gonna come back down there. That's a good trade. So it's just patience today. We had a rapid 24 hours already. It's patience today for the next setup. If it's gonna go up till Wednesday or Thursday, there's gonna be a good buy the dip scenario. Even look at last week, what it did on Thursday last week. I know Thursday last week hey. I mean, last week went up all week. And then Wednesday, Thursday just went down. Had this price action all week. Last week, Monday went up, Tuesday went up, until Wednesday, middle of the week, and then we went down. There was even that Thursday. Thursday last week was pretty crazy, right? We were live and we bought. We literally bought on that candle. We were live Thursday morning and we bought on that candle. That was a pretty wild morning, but that could, what if Friday the market's like doing this wherever it is, right? Having a morning like that, or if Thursday's having a morning like that this week. Now there could be opportunities ahead too that we can show, like we could think of, like I like to look back at situations like that, like last week, right? Like look what happened Thursday last week. Huge dip down, like huge crash, basically. If you were on the charts that morning watching, you were like, if you were watching the charts that morning, you would have been like, damn, like, you know. Thursday last week, so like could have a day like you could, like as prices trading higher and higher, there can always be days like that to anticipate, right? So you don't want to get ahead of the market, because your setups, you know, your week doesn't have to always get your week. Well, your week can get made early. Like if you're efficient, you catch the right opportunities, you can have a quick week. But your setups don't have to be there every day or every moment you're on the chart. It's like you could hop on Thursday and it's like Thursday's kind of like what it was last week, or Friday. We were live for that session. I got on at like 11. I got on after the market made that drop last week. This big drop. I got on after this came here. We were on for this candle. We could still be holding the trade we literally took on Thursday, and it would be right. Market has not come back today. So if you look at a lot of these, like there's points that the market really doesn't come back to. Yeah, we might have been able to catch a good scalp there, but hesitate. We're at these all-time highs, so I'm just being more patient. And it's Tuesday. There's a lot of time left in the week to see how price plays out. Now, what time is it? 102. Sell until 34.60. Yeah, that'll be a good dip. Magic arrows never fail. What happened in the last 6 hours? Gold. Just being gold, man. These times of uncertainty are causing this. The world, all the tariffs, Trump, China, USA, China, ongoing battle, right? The war is that's just like, you know, given the world and markets a lot of uncertainty, and gold's always just been that kind of safe haven in times of conflict or times of uncertainty and crises. Gold's always acted like that. So I know it seems crazy. But you know, it's happening for a reason. So technically, like on a technical, like you can look for your technical analysis, and you can see gold is bullish. Like we could look at it on technical and understand the technicals are bullish. There's sometimes setups that show us bullish. Like we could see bullish strategies, or we have tools and, you know, strategies that you guys know that you can find bullish setups with and stuff like that, right? Indicators. So, you know, on technical analyzing the charts, gold is bullish. But on a fundamental, an economic, a geopolitical, right? It's also bullish because of things happening in the world. So yeah, it might seem like crazy, but and it's moving fast. This thing is moving fast. Already pretty much 3,500, right? And that was pretty quick. That we were just at 3,200. We were literally talking about buying at 3,200 the other week, so it's like it's moving quite quick. I mean, not much more to look at, but other than just patience, guys. If I see like a good enough, like I want the market to come down. It might make a holding pattern here. So what I mean by like a holding pattern, a continuation and break up to the upside. But I'm gonna wait, let the market maybe come down. I think it'll do that. There's enough time for one of these types of moves to happen that bring price down. So I'm still gonna keep an eye on for that, probably tonight or maybe even for the morning. I just wanted to jump on, quick update, see where gold is at. Since I got off, it flew up a lot. There's a lot of opportunity to catch so far this week. So if you've had a good performance, just now you kind of want to use some time, right? The market's moved a lot. So now you want to use some time to maybe have it make some rebalances, some pullbacks. Because we're just hopping in Tuesday now. We got still a bunch of days, a bunch of time left in the week. Especially with how prices moved. I would want it to, again, try to find, like I call it, it's like manipulation where volume comes in. That could happen in the next hour. You'll start to see some volume kick in closer to, because now we're at 1 a.m. So like around 2 a.m. Well, yeah, we'll be on the morning. I'm going to jump back on in 7 hours from now to see where New York is. And maybe there's a setup in New York. We had a good New York session today. But that's going to be it for me tonight. Long day. Gold's either just going to consolidate up here, create a continuation. Not looking for that move personally. I'm going to wait, see if we make that, let's say, crash, some crash down. But yeah, we'll be on in the morning. Oh, voice just cracked there. Yeah, so if you're watching price, remember I said, like, this is either gonna create like a continuation up, or just more what I'm looking for, more of a deeper retracement. But that's gonna be it for the night. I'll be on in the morning, guys. Peace, peace, peace. We'll be on for New York session.
sin viaje de vuelta. Por la isla te va a dar una vuelta. Bebé, solo avisa. El sábado teteo, el domingo misa. Estoy a ver si me garantiza que te me pegas como quien graba con B. Salir a las amigas.